Good day, South Africa. South Africa's Transport Department, much like all the other departments forming our government, is facing some serious problems of its own which have been highlighted by the current COVID-19 scourge. Adequately administering this department has obviously been compromised, and designated Minister Fikile Mbalula has duly announced some extensions for expired documentation to be renewed. However, the economic aspect is one which his department is battling to resolve. A desperate attempt to generate funds for this department's unsound accounting model is indicated by its latest exorbitant markup on license renewal costs for Gauteng citizens, which include a 250 rands online booking fee, a 99 rands driving license card delivery fee, and a 72 rand transaction fee. The gazetted notice by the Department of Transport on the 3rd of September 2021 is being repudiated by both the DA and the Automobile Association, or the AA, with the latter having launched an online petition challenging the notice on the premises of it being excessively vague and needing comprehensive clarification. Another example of this department's financial difficulties can be traced back to 2012, when then Chief Executive Officer of South Africa's National Roads Agency Limited, or SANRAL, Mr. Nazir Ali, resigned after the e-tolling system's financial planning was rejected by the North Gauteng High Court. Subsequently, this e-toll project resulted in an accumulation of up to 67 billion rands of debt by the year 2018, and the Transport Department had not devised a strategy to raise this money from elsewhere other than the South African taxpayers. Organisation Undoing Tax Abuses, or OUTAs, Wayne Duvenet, has exposed the latest Transport Department and Road Traffic Management Corporation's, or RTMC's, online booking system money-making scheme as being aimed exclusively at the Gauteng province, while sinisterly not being specified in the gazetted notice. Minister Mbalula has, 3.5 weeks ago, admitted that out of all the motorists on Gauteng roads, only 55.4% have legitimate and updated documentation. 1 year prior to the COVID-19 outbreak in South Africa, our road fatality statistics were higher than the average figure for all low-income sovereigns. The fining of law transgressing motorists saw a year's increase thereof of hundreds of thousands, and arrests were in excess of 1,000 compared to the previous year. COVID-19 shouldn't, once again, be used by the Transport Department, just like a multitude of other departments, as a reason to have irregular expenditures and unreasonable transactions reflecting on our national organs' financial records. With the noting of the 262 million rand surplus on the RTMC income statement, the AA has revealed that the former CEO is earning a salary of 775,000 rands per month. OUTA has also attributed the surplus monies in the RTMC's account to the overcharging of motorists in Gauteng compared to the Western Cape, where instead of 250 rands for a license renewal, the cost is 140 rands. Even though the National Road Traffic Act No. 64 of 2008 allows each province to determine its own pricing structure, Chapter 13, Section 75, Subsection 1, ZA2 is clear on Minister Mbalula's responsibility to apply his rationale in that, quote, Subsection 1, the Minister may, after a decision has been taken in the Shareholders Committee, make regulations not inconsistent with this Act regarding ZA any matter for which, quote, Subsection 1, the Minister may, after a decision has been taken in the Shareholders Committee, make regulations not inconsistent with this Act regarding ZA any matter for which, 2, this Act does not, in the Minister's opinion, make provision or enough provision, unquote. Chris Hunsinger, Member of Parliament and DA Shadow Minister of Transport, is seeking a more detailed fees explanation from the Transport Department. Inextricably linked with the recent findings of the National Lotteries Commission's, or NLC's, baselessness in the distribution of grants to qualifying applicants is the current Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, Ronald Lamola. Being historically contracted to the NLC through his directorship at the Ndobela Lamola Incorporated law firm, which was appointed as the legal representative of the regulator of our national lottery, Minister Lamola's cause has been worsened by 2 weeks ago's hacking of the IT systems of his department. Of the reports by the quote, ground up unquote publication about the bundling of NLC reports by Ndobela Lamola Incorporated, both affiliated organizations subsequently sought to exclude Minister Lamola from these convicting revelations by saying that he, quote, never worked on the probes while he was a director of the Pretoria-based law firm, unquote. Referring to the Companies Act number 71 of 2008, subsections 77, 3B and C enables us to understand what Minister Lamola's duties and liabilities were in that, quote, 3. A director of a company is liable for any loss, damages or costs sustained by the company as a direct or indirect consequence of the director. B. Having acquiesced in the carrying on of the company's business despite knowing that it was being conducted in a manner prohibited, or C. Being party to an act or omission by the company despite knowing that the act or omission was calculated to defraud a creditor, employee or shareholder of the company or had another fraudulent purpose, unquote. We can therefore conclude that Minister Lamola is very much liable for the damages incurred by his company, even though the rest of its board is denying this, similarly to what the current Justice and Correctional Services Department is trying to do by refusing to believe that 2 weeks ago's hacking of its IT systems has compromised sensitive information, contrary to security experts and a collard. The department's desperate 180-degree turn from the reality that the general public's personal and banking information had been unduly exposed to risk has been discovered by the DA to have been caused by the fact that the department's IT service provider had not been paid for 2 months. Minister Lamola has to take charge of this latest disaster, just as the constitutional oath or solemn affirmation that he took upon coming into office requires, as he recited, that he swore that he, quote, will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa and hold, unquote, his, quote, office as minister with honor and dignity, to be a true and faithful counselor and to perform the functions of, unquote, his, quote, office conscientiously and to the best of, unquote, his, quote, ability, unquote. Department of Justice spokesperson Steve Mahlangu's statement that no damage was done by 2 weeks ago's hack goes against the reports we've received from IT experts and condemns this official communique from the department as being insincere. 8 years ago, sports journalist Graham Joffe brought to the surface allegations of corruption at the NLC's financing and grants recipients, such as the South African Sports Confederation and Olympic Committee, or SESCOC, SA College Principals Organization, the SA Institute for Drug-Free Sports, and the Soccer Museum. The expose was thwarted by the then Sports Minister Fikile Mbalula, just as the former Trade and Industry Minister Rob Davies did in 2015, when a report by attorney Trevor Bailey, which highlighted the illegalities occurring at the NLC, was publicized, with the whistleblower Chief Risk Officer Batabile Kapuma being unfairly dismissed without considering the revealed grievances. According to the Business Live publication, there is a lengthy list of unfairly dismissed honest employees whose cases are pending in the Commission for Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration, or the CCMA, in the Superior and Specialist Courts. Matt Cuthbert, Member of Parliament and DA Shadow Deputy Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, is studying the NLC documents, which should explain why the various projects such as the Denze Primary Care Center, including drug rehabilitation centers, retirement homes, other schools, school toilets, libraries, museums and sports facilities have been abandoned while incomplete or built using low quality materials. Thank you.